Hello, I'm Kim Ji-hoon, an elementary school teacher in Korea. Today, we're going to talk about media literacy and news. Do you watch the news often? What news do you usually watch? Life, politics, sports? In fact, news is a grateful medium that gives us a lot of information. However, when you watch it, you need an accurate eye for the news. That is media literacy. First, let's look at what the news is. There are various myths about the etymology of the news, but the most likely myth is that it originated from new things, the plural form of new. In other words, news means new facts. But not everything can be news just because it's a new fact. For example, it's a new fact that I'm meeting you today, but it won't be on the news this evening. But the news will tell us that Apple has launched a new phone model or that the war has stopped somewhere in the world. So what kind of facts will be news? Let's start with a very simple quiz. Imagine the following phrase as the headline of some news. Could this be news? First of all, it turns out that the sun is going to rise this morning and it's going to set in the evening. Yes, of course, this couldn't be news. It's because everyone knows it. Here's the second question. Ji-hoon's daughter next door enters school. Yes, of course, this cannot be news either. Of course, it could be very important news for me, but it cannot be news because it doesn't affect anyone else that much. Then the last one. Corona vaccine development succeeded. Could this be news? It would be thrilling and exciting news just by imagining it, right? In order for a fact to become news like this, several conditions are required. That's influence, timeliness, prominence, proximity, novelty, conflict. Let's take a closer look at these 6 conditions. First of all, influence means how many people are affected by events or facts. Highly influential facts can be news. Next, timeliness means whether a fact that is discovered or occurred is close to the present. These days, more and more news is being posted directly on portal sites, and more news are pouring out these timely articles. In addition, prominence means the fact or the degree to which the party involved in the incident is famous, and proximity is the distance between the area where the facts or events took place and the area where news is distributed. And the novelty is the degree to which the facts and events are less likely to happen in everyday life. And the conflict is the degree of conflict between stakeholders over facts and events. In order for a fact to become news, you need to meet some of the 6 conditions. Of course, if only one condition is met enough, it can be news. Only facts with such a variety of conditions become news, but not all news is always accurate and correct. News deals with facts because facts can be changed and distorted at any time. Shall we look at the next picture? What can you tell in this picture? It looks like another soldier is pointing a gun at the overpowered soldier. If this picture was the front page of the news, what would the news be about? Perhaps the cruelty or urgency of war. But what about this picture? What does this picture tell us? It looks like a soldier who's humane enough to give water to drink to the prisoners. If this picture was on the front page of the news, there would have been words like peace blooming in war and humanity. But the important thing is both true and not true, because I cannot find out a lot of facts that weren't captured in this picture. After all, news has to choose which of the countless facts to report, and this process of choice is like deciding what to hide. Therefore, we need to consume news critically. Even if a fact meets the conditions of the news, the intention of the news producer may be reflected in the selection of the facts. We call it gatekeeping. Gatekeeping refers to the process of editing and catering news within a news media organization by reporters or news decision makers. In other words, news is a chosen fact that reflects someone's intentions and perspectives. Founded in 1977, CML, an American media literacy educational institution, presented 5 key concepts as a tool for analyzing media: producer, form, user, content, and purpose, which can help to critically consume news. When applying these key concepts to the news, there are several questions that can be asked. What kind of media company is it? And then how were photos, diagrams, videos, sounds used in the news? And also who was interviewed? And also who is the target audience? The following two news are about the conflict between Kaduk Island and Miryang over the construction of a new airport in the southeast part of Korea in 2016. Let's analyze these two news stories into 5 key concepts. For convenience, the two news are referred to as A and B and are analyzed with the help of the 5 concepts. Both media companies have organized the news in a scene favorable to the people in the region who wanted their region to be selected for the construction of the new airport. Even with these same events or facts, news can be organized entirely differently depending on the producer. That's why we need a tool called media literacy to understand the perspective of news and to consume it critically. In this presentation, we've looked at the concept and conditions of the news and how to critically consume it. Thank you very much for your time and attention.